Dr. Bush, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, doctor.
How are you?
Yes, I am good, doctor. We'll start now.
Okay.
Students, we are entering our second lecture for the day. We have with us Dr. Shrikanta Ghosh. He is a principal scientist and head division of parasitology, Indian Veterinary Research Institute. He has joined in as the ARS in the year of 1991 and joined IVRI in 1992. Since joining, he is involved in research project targeted for the development of suitable, sustainable control measures against tick vector transmitting human and animal pathogens. A number of candidate functional antigens of important tick vectors were identified using conventional and advanced technologies, characterized the identified targets biochemically, immunologically, and evaluated their vaccine potential in natural hosts. A number of molecular methods linked to functional characterization of targets in tick system were standardized and are in use in different laboratories. He has worked on recombinant protein-based vaccine formulations, which were developed and tested in experimental conditions. A new multi-component vaccine formulation has recently been tested and found promising to develop suitable vaccine against multi-tick infestations on animal in Indian conditions. Vector control is mainly focused on repeated use of insecticides, leading to development of resistant vector. For the development of resistance map of the country, reference biologicals were developed and registered in the National Registration System, standardized resistance monitoring tools. The tools are in use in different laboratories. Already characterized ticks collected from 17 states of the country. As an alternative to chemical and extensive research was conducted to screen and to develop anti-tick natural formulation. The methodologies were standardized, validated. One anti-tick technology has already been commercialized and other technologies are in pipeline. 5 patent applicants were submitted on the area of research and 2 patents have already been granted. He is a member of International Consortium of Ticks and Tick-borne Diseases and led Indian team with effective from 2004 to 2010. Awarded a number of national and international projects for implementation, has guided 29 doctor and master students, published more than 150 research papers in international and 64 papers in national journal. Working as a reviewer of 15 international journals, publishing research papers on vector biology and control, participated in a number of international and national brainstorming sessions, seminars, symposia, congresses, and workshops as an expert, invited speaker, and lead speaker and resource person. He has been bestowed with a number of awards and recently Indian Association for Advancement in Veterinary Parasitology has given Professor Stephen K. Wickel Lifetime Achievement Award for his outstanding contribution to veterinary parasitology. So in this introduction, I invite Dr. Ghosh to deliver his lecture. Doctor, the floor is yours. Dr. Ghosh. Dr. Ghosh.
Slides are visible?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Good morning to all of you. Thanks for giving the introduction of myself. That students are now well acquainted about what type of work we are doing, and maybe students are maybe interested to know why we are trying to work in this particular subject for the last so many years. My target in this particular lecture is not to give too much technical component, because technical component is purely a research component. The issues which may be of interest, the students may be very interested to have some translational mode from the research development. Research is a long-term process, and translational mode, the research, the concept, after approval of the concept, the proof of concept, that can be taken up in the translational platform. So here maybe two types of students are there. Some are very much interested in research component, and some are in the translational platform. So I am mixing both the things together so that there, I believe, if some interest can be generated among the students, then some good may come out in the future. Accordingly, I designed my presentation. Now, before going into the details of the subject, first I want to tell, because many of you may not know, what are the parasites are normally infesting animals. Economically important parasites. Ectoparasites. Of the major ectoparasites normally visible on animals. Animal means I am telling any type of animals. But here my focus is on mainly dairy and meat animal. Those who are having the background of village background and having the dairy in their house, they must have seen this type of infestations on their animal mainly during rainy season from June to September, October. These are normally present in large number on the body of the host, and there are some predilection side, preferred side, but not that always only in the preferred side it is available. Almost entire body in the heavy infestation, entire body may be infested by this infestation. Then mange. Mange, you definitely observe animals with this type of condition. The skin is weak, sometimes is cracked, and the animals are very dull. And the
Excuse me, doctor, the slides are not moving. I think it is still in the first slide.
okay, but my slide is moving. Achha, okay.
Here in the screen, it is not moving.
Okay, I am sharing again. Okay.
Okay.
Now in the third slide or not, which slide?
It's still loading.
The first slide has come.
No.
Okay,
It's still empty. It is not loading. It's empty.
It may take time because lots of photographs are there.
Okay.
Still loading.
Not yet, bro. I think it is stuck.
Now it's fine. Changing.
No, it is a blank from our side.
Now.
No, doctor. I think it is
No, it is not happening.
not happening. Can you send me, doctor? I will share from here my system. Can you send to me?
Definitely, I can send you. I'm trying another mode. Let me see. Now. Same.
Same issue.
I am sending you.
Okay.
I sent. Murugan, have you received my mail?
Yes, received it. Doctor.
Okay.
Just a minute. You can go now.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, student. Actually, there are some problem.
Yeah.
Now again, I am starting from the first line.
Yes.
Okay, that will be better. What I was telling, before going into the detailed technical details of that particular topic, I want to give some information to the participants that why we are interested to manage these particular ectoparasites. What is happening if these ectoparasites are not managed? What is going to happen? Why we are spending so much of money, so much of energy, and trying to develop too many things? That is the most important thing to work in a particular subject. So I'm starting with what are the economically important ectoparasites of cattle. Here I am showing a picture that is the animals with tick infestations. You must have seen the tick infested animal. Those who are mainly in the village setup or visited the different villages different times. They must have seen this type of infestation of animal during the summer and the monsoon season. There are some preferred sites, but when the infestation level is very high, it may be visible in almost entire body. Again, it is not. The next most important parasite is major mite infestation. You must have observed that animals with loss of hair, that wrinkle skinned, dullness, and different color. There is a loss of color, loss of hair coat as well as this wrinkled skin. And these are entering into the body of the host and taking blood and damaging significantly and reducing the growth and the production of the animal. Another group of ectoparasites, that is lice. We know these human lice, but there is a number of lice species are commonly observed on the animals. And in buffalo, this lice infestation is very common. And lice, as in the case of the human case, this is very causing irritation, and automatically animals are very erratic, and the production is going down significantly. Then flies. I am taken flies as a group. There are different types of flies. And this type of infestation is very common not only in our country, in many other countries. And when the flies, animals are infested with lots of flies, then the flies stages, they are laying eggs on the body of the host. When there is a damage, wound, some form of wound formation is there, they are laying eggs on the wound, and that is further damaging the host, also damaging the hide and skin. Now, I have given the 4 examples. All these group of arthropods, they are infesting animals, but not only they are damaging directly to the host, but also transmitting a number of pathogens. I told that they are taking blood, they are creating very irritation. When there is irritation, the animals cannot take the feed properly, can stand properly, the milk production level is going down, automatically they are not taking feed, the body weight will be reduced, and ultimately it will affect on the production. Another thing I told, that is the hide, damaged hide. You know that hide damage means this, whatever the leather resources available in our country or any other country, these are coming from animals. If the animal quality, animal growth, animal skin is not proper, automatically the hide quality will not be good. And the whatever the leather products available finally in the market, it will not be available as it should be. So not only the milk and meat or wool, the hide is also very, very important. So for the economic impact of these arthropod parasites on the livestock production system is concerned. In together, we have to consider that what is the total impact of the arthropod infestation on animal. I told besides the direct, there are previous slide. Besides the direct losses, there are indirect losses. That means the transmitting number of pathogens. These are bacterial, protozoal, and viral. And many of these pathogens are fatal to the host. So there is another issue. And both the things have to be considered when we are trying to control the ectoparasites on animals. Next. There are some estimates. In our country, there is no proper estimations there, although we tried to have one estimation against tick infestation. But in some of the countries, there are a comprehensive estimation has been done. In the first part of the slides, what you have seen, that 2260 million US dollar, that data in 1981, that is from Brazil. Now, it is in the year 2014, it is re-estimated and it is 13,958 million US dollar. So you see that the economic impact of this particular ectoparasite infestation is increasing. In 81 to 14, it is 6 times increased. Since in our country, this data is not suitably developed, so exactly the situation in our country, we don't know. But in my presentation, I will give some glimpse what are the possible impact due to the arthropod, impacts of the arthropod infestation on animals. Next. Now I am focusing on the tick infestation, because lots of data have been generated throughout the globe, throughout the mainly tropical and subtropical countries. So the economic impact of the tick infestation. Here, there are some informations in India, what is the economic impact is generated, one in 2003, and recently we generated some data. And now in 2003, it was estimated as 498.7 million US dollar per annum. And it is almost 0.8 times or double what we calculated in 2022. So it is increasing. It is increasing because new avenues are coming, and the importance of the livestock product in different sectors is increasing, and so there is a potentiality of livestock product, since it has importance in different sector, automatically if there's any damage, impact is also increasing. So in totality, if we are taking the arthropod as a whole, the total value may be reaching a very high, at least 4 to 5 times of the total value we have shown in the case of tick only, yes, in India. Next. So what we should do? We have to control this. How to control it? Now, all of us, we know that ectoparasite control, because we are well acquainted with the mosquito repellent, what we are using, or the spray we are using for killing cockroaches. That we all know. In household or for the malaria management, we know it. But in the case of the animal parasite management, the issue is something different. There are different control methods are there, but the main focus till today, the control method is mainly focused on the chemical control. And when there is a chemical control, there is a different methods of application of the insecticides. Like I told, you are using the mosquito repellent as well as you are using the spray. Here, different mode of application adopted for the chemical control. Next. And these are the major chemicals. You also know it, that these are the major chemicals which are in use not only for the animal ectoparasite management, also for the many of these insecticides also used for agricultural pest as well as for the household ectoparasites. So many are common and mode of action is same. That means next. The problem is the generation of one particular group of insecticides and the development of resistance against that particular group of insecticides. The gap between the two is always between 10 to 15 years. That means one group insecticides is developed to manage particular group of ectoparasites, but the ectoparasites are developing resistance to that particular insecticides within a 10 to 15 years of time. This competition is going on since last more than 80 years and it will continue, and that is the challenge. Under this challenge, this particular topic coming into the picture. This is a challenge that insecticide development process is going on and the targeted organisms are developing mechanisms to detoxify the effect of the insecticides, and these insecticides are not working or working at higher concentration, or they are not working at all. These are different types of scenario is now existing in the different parts of the world. Next. If you see what is the status around the world, I have given some of the country name. It is not possible to give all the countries and give the entire information. But you find that in most of the good number of countries where the animal population is very high, good number of animals, productive animals are there, that majority of the insecticides which are in use for the management of the tick management, these are not working. Next. What about India? In India, I have given some of the name of some states, but this does not mean in other states the resistance problem is not there. Resistance problem is also there in other states, but in the many of the states, this work has not been done suitably. So I have not taken those data to include in this particular table. This data I have taken considering the quality of the data generated. So you observe there's a high level of resistance already developed, and the majority of the insecticides are not working against the tick species which are damaging in our animal production system. Next. So what can be done? That is integrated pest management. This particular also word, all these students, they must know it. In IPM, there is one particular component, there is different component of IPM, one component of development and use of natural formulation. But it is not very easy to develop natural formulation against this resistant arthropods. Here issue is not the arthropods. Here issue is the resistant arthropods. Because now we are at 2022 and future, more and more resistant parasites will come into the population. So challenge will be more critical. So we have to have some strategy to manage this resistant population at a significant level. Next. For development of any control measure, we have to have method to know that whether really it is required. It is not like that if throughout the country you need the some alternative method. For that you must know it where it is required, where it is not required. There must be some system by which we can check that resistance is developed or not developed. There are methods. I am not going to details of this method, but there are methods. Those who are trying to develop any product, translational platform, they can come with start with the proof of concept to further. And those who are interested to have some monitoring data and then to develop something where proof of concept is to be developed, proof of concept is to be done, and then translational. Both the platform, I told you, both the things are combined here. Here, this requirement of monitoring is part of the research platform, where you have to do some research on the how to monitor the resistance, and then you can go for any proof of concept. Here, actually, there is something is required. That is a very tricky issue. For that reason, most of the cases, most of the data in our country is very not that strong data is developed, except in some of the laboratory, because of the non-availability of some of the thing. The first most important thing is this reference sample. Until unless we reference sample we have, we cannot compare the field data with the control. So we have to have some reference sample, reference susceptible and reference resistant sample. Then only we can check it whether the field population is resistant or susceptible. Then we should have a laboratory rearing system of the targeted arthropods. Again, this is very challenging and very limited. We have 2 to 3 laboratories are there in our country where ectoparasites or animals are in rearing is going on. And when we are monitoring it, we should properly monitor through proper sampling. If the sampling is not proper, you all know it, because in statistics, sampling statistics is very, very crucial. But otherwise, if the sampling not through a statistical design, then whatever the data you will generate, that may not be the true picture of the population. That may be the biased sample. If the biased sample, on the basis of the biased sample, you have generated some data and you are implementing something, that may not effective in the particular field condition. So that is also very crucial, proper sampling. Next. These are the sounds. I am showing a tick model. There are different types, different slides, different pictures I have put in one slides. So different methods I have told. So I am not going to details, because if there is anybody of you is interested to know like that, what is AIT, what histology is required, how the tick rearing is possible. The number of publications of me is available. That is available in my, if you type my name in the Google search, you can get it and you can get this information how this can be done. Next. I told that we should have a reference strain. I am happy to inform to the audience that we have reference strain in our laboratory, and that is available for the researcher who are interested to work in this particular subject and can collaborate officially with IVRI, so that they can have access to this particular reference strain to generate the data of that particular state, and then further work can be conducted. These are all the reference strain. These are the national registration is there, and is available. Again, for any of these queries on this, you can send me mail. I will be happy to share this information with any of you. Next. For direct application in the methodology, here I told methodology using adult and methodology using larvae. The two different methodology. I have not told what are those methodology. That is available. I told in AIT, LPT, that can be seen in two publications, and that I told that in my, you can search in Google search, and then you can see the AIT, LPT, and my name you can give. You will get the detail of information how this can be conducted. I am giving some of the data, that is DC. DC means, suppose one population of arthropods who got confused, you have to see whether these are resistance or not. You can use directly this particular ppm concentration against adult tick adult. I am taking the tick as an example. And if these arthropods are dying, these concentrations, they are susceptible. If they are not dying, then it is resistant. There's no need to generate data on that. We have already generated this data and it's published. You can directly use this information for your experiments, and you can have the data, and that will be acceptable, nationally acceptable data. Because these data you cannot develop. This has been developed using reference susceptible strains of IVRI 1. Students, you can use this data, you can have access to this particular slide. If you need, I can share this particular information to you. If anybody specifically requires this particular data, I will share. Next. Now, as I told, that the resistance problem is there, and these are the level of resistance. I am not going to details of this, what are the data means, but one particular thing I am telling, suppose in MP blue color, first column, 16.4 to 24.02. 16.4 means, suppose delta methane concentration required is 30 ppm. Here in MP sample, Madhya Pradesh sample, that 30 into 16.4. This ppm is required for the management of this particular group of ticks using deltamethrin. You can visualize the level of resistance developed against deltamethrin in different parts of the world. Even you can see in Rajasthan, it's 95.7, in Assam, 24.7, Uttarakhand, 29, in different cases like that. I'm giving one example. So you can visualize what is the status existing in our country, the problem existing in our country. Next. And these are the picture I'm giving where the dots are not there. Again, I'm telling that does not mean resistance is not there. We have not worked on this particular states, and it is open to the anybody who can work in these particular states. And there are many states where the number of dots are very less. That means you can definitely start working on that particular subject without any problem. Next. So insecticide use is the major our fight against insects, but we are actually losing the fight and the arthropods are winning. And this process is going on. Arthropods, ultimately it is found that arthropods are more intelligent than human. Because always they are going ahead. What we are thinking, the arthropods are thinking faster than what we are thinking. This is the problem. So we are now talking about alternatives. Next. There are two types of, in my presentation, two modes are there again. One is research mode, another is the translational mode. This type of picture maybe you have seen in your village setup that people are using different types of plants, different types of that leaf, whole plant or leaf, or they are using boiling in water, sometimes in the cold water, and then they are using on animals for the management of ectoparasites. These are very common. And from this common thing, we have to take up the clue and we have to develop the technology. We have to see, we have to study what is there in this particular system, and that is, and on that, this traditionally village setup, people are using and adopted this thing since long, and still they are using. Otherwise, any technology adaptation is not at all easy. Next. The major positive effect of the herbal insecticide is they are natural. Natural means a plant, a leaf of any plant is a mixture of a number of chemical constituents, but in present in different concentration and in different form when it is present in natural conditions. But when you are trying to take up those chemicals by any method, analytical method, chemical method, then it is not the natural form of that particular insecticide. It is in the different form that may not work the same way as it is present in the natural form. Then why you are targeting to natural form? Because when we are using, suppose deltamethrin mode of action, any pyrethroids, the mode of action is sodium channel. Is targeting sodium channel, or somewhere it is dopamine receptors, somewhere it is octopamine receptors, somewhere it is targeting acetylcholinesterase. That means on a particular target. Arthropods are developing changes. Sometimes it is mutation, sometimes overexpression of the enzymes like that. They have developed mechanisms to overcome those impacts. But here, since it is a mixture of multiple components, the arthropods may face problem to develop some mechanisms to develop resistance against number of mechanisms together, because each chemicals have different set of mechanisms. That is the problem. In that way we can manage arthropods which have only developed resistance to many insecticides. Next. These are already I told. The less chance of development of resistance because of multiple components are together. Automatically chances of development of resistance is less. Next. If you see the history, since 2600 BC, it is in use. So it is not like that something suddenly we have started talking on that. It is already in use. It was in use and it is in use. So only thing is, in most of the cases, those who are trying to prove the concept, what is the basic concept in that efficacy, those who are trying to do, we are not in a position to establish the proof. For that reason, in many cases, what is observed is not scientifically validated. That is the major problem in herbal drug development. Many cases it is not scientifically validated. For that, in many cases, people are still giving question mark whether it is working or not working, because how it is working in many cases we don't know. Next. Another major issue is, I told that there are multiple components together, and there may be one or two or three components which are very, very crucial for the particular arthropod management. Not all the components are required. That identification of those components and taking out those components to have a clinical trial and the regulatory approval that, okay, these are the natural formulation, these are the key compounds, and these key compounds are effective, and that can be, the quality can be controlled using those key compounds. So we need regulatory approval. It is a very challenging, and it is observed the success rate is less than 1%. For that reason, as on today, the number of people involved in this particular research is very, very at low level. It is a challenging, but when there is a challenge, if it is achieved, then that is also very, very, you feel very elevated that we have taken the challenge and ultimately we have reached to the goal. Challenge is there, but satisfaction is also there if we can reach to that goal. Next. What are the process? These are the process that different methodologies are there, and this entire process is a multidisciplinary process. This is another issues. In many cases, but the concept is changed now. Previously, it was thought that one person can do many things, but now it is thought that one person can do one thing. So for a multi-component things, there must be multidisciplinary people involved. Then the ultimate results can be achieved. This is a true multidisciplinary mode, and without the multidisciplinary involvement, it is not possible. Here in this group, there may be multiple disciplinary people are there. They may discuss, they may have some are pharmacology people, some may be biochemistry people, some may be pure chemistry people. Pure chemistry can play a big role in this particular type of research, and they can have, and some are purely entomology or biology like that. Here you find the different types of, some are botanists, very, very important. So different types of people should come together to come into the for drug development process, so we can reach to the ultimate objective. Next. Next. I am giving a timeline actually. Normally, the time requirement is this if everything is going in the smooth direction. The ideal condition. But this is a very, very ideal condition is very fake word, because ideal, very difficult to maintain the ideal conditions because the number of variables are there, not only the facilities, human manpower, so many things. So the total time plus 2 years can be taken for drug discovery in drug discovery format. Here I have not given one duration, that is the approval process. Approval process again, it may take time, huge time. So normally it takes 10 to 15 years to have a good quality characterized drug, effective drug for regulatory approval. Next. You can skip it. A number of herbal mosquito and fly repellents are available for mosquito as mosquito repellent. You will find it. Globally, it is available. Next slide. Some more slides are there. These are some bioinsecticides, biofungicides, and bionematicides are also there. Using here for animal, the list is very, very less. What I have shown, so what the ticks are concerned, dog tick, it is only one product is available. That is also not that effective, but it is in use. And very recently, we have developed a formulation, and we are expecting that will be available in the market as per the convenience of the company. Some company has taken this particular product for commercialization. I am going to give you some flow diagram how we have developed this thing, so that, and will give some input in other cases where that can be taken by the students to develop their own product. Next. I told it's a multidisciplinary concept, so that project should be multidisciplinary. We have screened 97 plants. When there is a coming to the plants, you need the involvement of botanists. They should identify repeatedly, because the same plants, looking like same plant, but that may not be the same plant. So if you are identifying some plants for screening, repeatedly the same plants should be screened, not the different plants. For that, proper taxonomist who has proper idea about the plants is very important. From that, one of the plant, which is coded as NAC, we identified, and these are present in throughout the country. That's another important. When you are targeting any plant, see whether the plant is available throughout the country. The plant parts should not be root. If the plant part is leaf, that is excellent. Leaf is excellent. Flower, if it is flower, automatically it is very, very seasonal. If it is fruits, then also very, very seasonal. So your parts of the plant and the distribution of the plant, as well as the agronomical requirement of the plant growth, all are very, very crucial for identification of any plant, for development of any product or any animal parasites. Because these are animals are maintained by smaller marginal farmers. They cannot purchase the product which are very costly. So we have to think about the cost. So we have to start thinking from the base level. If you are starting thinking from the early level, then only we can reach to the product level having the less cost. There is a process of fractionation and the characterization of that. Some of these processes are very standard. This fingerprinting processing, HPLC fingerprinting, many of you, maybe those who are in pharmacology or biochemistry, they are very well acquainted with that. Nowadays, many of the laboratories, they are working on the fingerprinting. They know it, what is the importance of the fingerprinting. Because we know fingerprinting, then we can quantify the marker compounds. Ultimately, we can use it for the quality control marker. Finally, as I told, we have to have some compounds that can be used as a quality control marker. Here, we identified 4 compounds which are also having anti-tick activity. Next. What we observe, when you are treating those animal ticks, significant level of mortality as well as reduction in egg laying capacity we observe. Why are we targeting the egg laying capacity? Because from the egg, if you can reduce the egg laying capacity, automatically that the next generation will be less. And if you continue to use those particular product and in the continuously in the population, the less number of tickets will be available. And automatically the level of infestations on the animals will be less. So we targeted both the mortality of the tick stages as well as on the egg laying capacity of the tick which were treated with the formulations. It's not possible to kill all the ticks on the body of the host. So we are getting different level of mortality using different types of ticks. Different types means there are different level of resistance. That is the different level of resistance, multi-acacia resistance with different level. Like that's FTG isolate, which is actually ivermectin resistant. Specifically, I have given a red color, collected from Punjab. Next. When you are getting that this particular formulation is working, then another challenge is coming. It is working, but is it safe to use on animal? Because unless you are proving that it is safe, you cannot use on animal. Whether it is natural or it is synthetic. If it is natural, there may be many of the plants, it is toxic to human system, toxic to mammals. So we have to test it. There are some company or some agencies, they are now involved in safety analysis study. But those who are in pharmacology, medicine and biochemistry, they know it that this particular experiments can be conducted using small animals. Some experiments can be conducted in mice, some rat or rabbits. So these particular experiments are very, very crucial to go ahead further to test it on the natural host. Next. What we observed? We developed different types of formulation using nowadays nano formulations using nano-based to reduce the basic formulation, and you can reach to the point of target point. So different types of nano formulation also can be developed, and some of the formulations what we develop and which is showing very good efficacy when applying on the animals. You see that lead 3 and nano emulsion actually. One is oil-based emulsion, another is water-based emulsion. They are getting about this percent efficacy. Next. There is some more formulations we developed. These are all aqueous formulations. And here we got the better efficacy than the previous formulations. And finally, we have also developed this particular technology for commercialization. Next. Now see the changes. Pre-treatment after 3 days and after 7 days. Very significant changes are observed from the before application and after application. And this type of changes also is visible when we are applying the effective insecticides. Mainly when you are using amitride, we are getting similar type of efficacy. That means whether we are applying amitride or whether we are applying the natural formulations, we are getting comparable efficacy. That was our target. Next. We have developed another formulations. Why I am telling this thing? We can develop different types of formulations or using the different types of bases. There is another formulation chemistry. Again, chemistry people can have the very good idea about how these formulations can be prepared. So you can develop different types of formulation as per the requirement. When there is when the cream is required, in many cases creams are used mainly in the pets. So we can have cream-based formulations. So we also have developed that formulations, and that is also working very good. Next. This is one formulation, not the cream or any other F5, F10 formulation. This formulation already commercialized, and I told that this is up to the company to launch into the market, and we believe it will come into the market very soon. It is working against lice, dog tick, as well as this Herbal on important tick species, not only infesting animals and transmitting animal diseases, also transmitting CCHF. You all maybe know it. What is CCHF? Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever virus. Next. Very recently, one company, they are in collaboration with IVRI to establish the anti-tick formulation of green nano formulations. They have developed a green nano formulation. They want to see that whether it has antitic efficacy or not. We found that this green nano formulation is working good, and we are expecting that these green nano formulations will also be available in the market in coming time for the management of tick in the field situation. It is working very good. We are working on that in collaboration with them, and it is working very good. Again, I am telling, IVRI is open with different types of collaboration if the collaboration is in official format and in the mutually shared basis. For that reason, we are also working with the company, we are also working with the industry, we are also working with the national institutions. We are in the national institution, we are working with the national institution and also universities. So we are working with different universities, different institutions in proper format. So we are open to that. Next. One clue I am giving to the students. Very recently, we conducted one study that only we have used some essential oils which are commercially available in the market. We have selected some and then selected on the basis of the literature. And then we have checked the efficacy against the tick. Now in the table, it is very much visible that oil EUE is column 3 and LGE both at 5% concentration showing 10% efficacy. And others, SGE and RME is also showing more than 90% efficacy. So friend, there are many opportunities, many possibilities. If you are asking, sir, what is the code of that? That I cannot say because we have to do your research. I can only give you the clue that what is available even in the commercial form, that can be also seen, can be checked to work out the basic informations to move further. If you have the basic informations, then people will be interested to collaborate with you with the interest that you have some basic concept, you have some basic proof. So you can start working on that on the basis of the literature available. Some maybe 15 or 20 days back, one of the students from Amity University, she called me. She was asking this particular thing. I told her I have given some tips to her. I don't know what she's doing it, but if anybody of you having some interest to work on these particular aspects, you can contact me, and I can definitely, I will try to help you. And if you have the concept, if you have the proof of concept, you can definitely share with us for future collaboration with IVRI. Next. What I am telling till now and what I am telling now, the major problem in our research is majority of the data is on in vitro. In vitro data to in vivo extension of studies, the number of data which are validated in vivo is very less. The number of data which are standardized in vitro. In many cases, it is not validated in vivo. Until it is done, it cannot be possible. And this is the in vivo extension is not very easy. Next, we have very limited models of other ectoparasites. For that reason, work cannot be done. So we have to develop that laboratory model for other ectoparasites. I'm giving one particular sentence lastly. So we have this particular subject is high potential, but limited manpower is involved in the subject. Manpower interested in the subject should be involved. Then we can have the good quality product for the management of this, and ultimately we can serve the society. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. And if there are any questions, any related to this particular subject, you can ask me. I will be happy to give my experience to you. Or what I can say, I cannot give answer to all the questions, which I don't know because it's a multi-component research. I know some particular thing. I don't know. It's not possible for me to tell about the pharmacology because I'm not a pharmacologist. But I know something. Right? So whatever I think I can do, I will definitely help you.
Sir?
Yeah.
You said that when we are testing these insecticides, we test it on smaller animals and then on the animal of interest, right? So do we select the smaller organism based on their smaller animal based on their similarity to our animal of interest, or based on the similarity of the ectoparasites?
Actually, there is a specific guideline for testing. The OECD guideline, OECD. This is the OECD guideline given for safety analysis. Okay. You have to go for the safety guideline. In that guideline, the 3 types of animals are given, where you can use mice or rats or rabbits. You have to use that. You have to prove that your anything is effective and safe in small animal. Then only you can go for the large animal.
Oh, okay. So the testing in smaller animals is to prove the safety and things like that, and it's less about the choice of parasites there.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Mind it, madam, that this is very, very crucial, because don't go directly jump to the natural laws. Because that will be then ethical issues, then there will be a problem. Because now CPCS is very, very active, and then anybody researcher, if you are going directly without having the safety data, he or she may be in trouble. Animal ethics issue.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Dr. Murugan, one thing, if this, are you sharing these slides with the students?
Yeah, I will share with them.
Okay. You can share it.
Okay.
So, not any problem. I think I have given my email ID also there in the slide.
Yes.
There must be some people are pharmacology, some biochemistry like that.
Yes, pharmacy student are there, life science, everything.
Pharmacy students are there. Biochemistry is there. Organic chemistry or pure chemistry?
Yeah, they are more undergrads, all are undergrads.
Oh, undergraduate. Okay. Actually, Actually, I had no idea. The undergraduate, okay, that means then they're all are undergraduate.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, okay, no issue.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Mr. Murugan. Sorry, actually, there was some problem initially,
It happens, sir.
but I enjoyed this presentation in this history. You are conducting very kindly. But last time also it was very good. Achha. Anjali Sharma from DUs, she's which subject?
Actually, which subject you are? Your major? Biochemistry.
Biochemistry. Good luck, Anjali. You should be very, very positive frame of mind when you are doing biochemistry. Okay then.
Okay. Thank you so much. Sir.
Shall I leave?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Manu. Thank you to all. Take care of you and enjoy life and do something. This is your time is coming, our time is going. Good. Take care. Thank you to all.